All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. We got a bunch of NBA games on today's slate, December 2nd. It's Friday. Happy Friday to everyone. We're heading right into the weekend. We're going to go through each and every game like we always do. But like I always tell you guys, my final plays, what I'm actually going to be rolling with tonight, will be in the pinned comment. So if you're looking for somewhere to fade my actual picks and whatnot, check out the pinned comment, guys. I know the haters have had their moments in the last couple days as we had 3 losing days in a row, just a bunch of 1 and 2 absolute bad beats. But we're looking to bounce back tonight, but I'm getting sick and tired of saying that. So how about some damn action, guys, as we jump into these games? We want some winners tonight. And speaking of that, guys, make sure to use that hashtag ride of the day in the comments if you guys do have a lock, an absolute lock that I can jump on board with. And if I do jump on board with you, you guys will get a shout out, win or loss, in the next video. But we got a couple things to talk about before we get into these games. First and foremost, I do want to plug the merch. We got a bunch of cool merch over on the store, guys. Great prices as well. And on top of that, we're giving you guys a discount. You can use code FADE2022 for a percentage off at checkout. The percentage is different for all products, so make sure to go check that out. It's anywhere from 10 to 30% depending on the product, so make sure to go check that out, guys. It's a way to support the channel, and you get some cool merch as well. These are some of our new releases here. I love the Fade Me Santa sweater that you can rock at your holiday parties. Nothing like telling Santa to fade you, because everything you touch lately goes to you know what. But make sure to check out that merch store, guys. Link in the description, also in the pinned comment. And I appreciate everyone that has picked something up for the holiday season as of late. And also, if you guys do want to become a channel member, make sure to click that join button. It's right next to the subscribe button, guys. And $2.99 a month, you can support the channel and also get some awesome perks like access to our models each and every day for spreads, totals, and player props. So make sure to click that join button, guys. $2.99 a month, a great way to support the channel. Now let's get into this game. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as we jump into these, because I am ready. I am hungry. I'm willing to go all in on this slate and really dissect it. So keep an eye on the pinned comment for those final plays. But let's start it off with Washington taking on Charlotte. Both these teams have very, very similar against the spread records here. Washington 9-11-2 against the spread. Charlotte 9-11-1, but Charlotte just has not been a very good team here. 6-15 straight up. 3-6 at home against the spread, both straight up and against the spread is that record right there. The last 10 games, I think that Washington seems to be playing a little bit better than Charlotte, though it is road. So Washington, even though they're on the road tonight, they're 5-1 at home in this 10-game stretch here. 0-4 on the road. They're on the road tonight, but I do still think that this is a fine spot for Washington. I don't think that that's too big of a number, and it looks like you're gonna have Terry Rozier questionable, Cody Martin questionable or out, LaMelo Ball out, Gordon Hayward has been out, right? A couple of those guys have been out, and then Dennis Smith Jr. on the Charlotte side of things downgraded to out. I think that this is a good spot for Washington coming off of a close loss to Brooklyn, and Charlotte just has not looked like themselves. So I'm gonna lean Washington minus the points in this one here, and the total I think is a pretty good line. I'm not touching that total. I think 224-ish is right around what you're looking at for this game. So I'm not gonna touch that total. If anything, I guess I give the slightest of leans towards the over. I could see this finishing around 225, but that is not too much of a a lock there in my brain. So I'm gonna lean Washington minus the points in this one. Moving on, Celtics. My Boston Celtics hosting the Miami Heat here. 8-point favorites at home. 225.5 is the total. This Celtics team is playing absolute great basketball. 8-4 straight up, 14-8 against the spread. Miami kind of clawing back into it. 7-14-1 against the spread. Now it isn't all that great, but they started the season really, really poorly against the spread here. In their last 10 games, they're positive against the spread. 5-4-1. But what do we have to do every Miami game as of right now? You got to look at the injury report, because this injury report is crazy. So bear with me. I got to take 10 minutes to read this thing. Hold on. We got Jimmy Butler, questionable. Victor Oladipo, still out. Dwayne Dedmon, questionable. Duncan Robinson, questionable. Haywood, probable. Tyler Hero, now upgraded to probable. Max Strus, probable. Gabe Vincent, probable. Omar Yurtseven, out. Whatever that matters. And then Nikola Jovic, questionable here. So everyone and their grandmother is questionable for Miami. Again, Kyle Lowry and Bam Adebayo not questionable. So that is worth noting that they do have a couple of their guys there. But Jimmy Butler, you're going to want to keep an eye on this. We saw what the Celtics can do to the Miami Heat team with no Jimmy Butler. They won 134-121 last time out. In terms of injuries for Boston, no new injuries here. So I'm going to lean the Celtics -8. They're just a powerhouse right now. But probably my bigger play when maybe I'm thinking on the on the over here is probably more likely to become a final play. If you look at some of these recent games for the Celtics, ready? From most recent to least recent, 134 points scored, 140, 130, 122, 125. You skip a couple games, 126, 126. This offense is going absolute berserk, and you just can't stop it. They're averaging 125 points per game this season. Miami isn't that great of an offense, but they've been able to keep up with some teams. Miami also scoring 121 against the Celtics, 110 against Washington a couple games before that, 113 against Washington again, and then 132 way back in middle November here. So Miami does have the ability to score a bunch of points. I like the over in this game. Next up, we're moving on to the Bucks hosting the Lakers here. Bucks 8.5 point favorites. Total is 229 in this one. Milwaukee, 15-5 straight up, 12-7-1 against the spread. I do think that this is a large number, but I don't think it's safe to be betting a Lakers team that just has been so inconsistent this year. If they have all their guys as a go, obviously LeBron James, Anthony Davis, those guys are on the injury report every single day, so you never really know if they're going to play, if they're going to not. I'm sure they're going to play this game because it is such a a not important game, but a big matchup type game. So I imagine they're going to play, and you could keep this game close. 8.5 could be a lot of points to give those two guys, even with Giannis and stuff like that on the other end. Milwaukee here, 3 wins in a row, 4 out of their last 5 wins, covering 2 of their last 3. The only one they didn't cover was a push against New York a couple nights ago, but the Lakers also covering 3 out of their last 4 games. They've been playing better basketball, so I am gonna actually stay away from this one. I want to lean Bucks because I want to fade the Lakers, but the Lakers are slowly working themselves out of like auto, and I shouldn't even say slowly, they've kind of been out of that range of like that auto fade mode, because they've shown that, yeah, we can actually just play good basketball and get it going when we choose to. It's just a matter of, as a sports bettor, you don't necessarily know when they're going to choose to. 128-109 against Portland the other night. Then they lost by Indiana by 1 point before that. Then they dropped 140 on San Antonio, but then only 105 in the game before that against San Antonio. So very, very inconsistent Lakers team. The thing that I like in this game is probably looking at this total. Right now, again, it's at 229. I could see this one going over as well because I don't think either defense is all that good. I think the Bucks have a slightly overrated defense, and I think this Lakers defense is nothing to tip your nose at whatsoever. I know the Bucks defense, in terms of points scored and whatnot, is really, really low, but I think that could be a little bit of strength of schedule. All right, moving on. Hawks, 2.5 point dogs at home, taking on the Nuggets here. 232.5 is the total. Their records this season: Denver 14-7 straight up, 11-10 against the spread. Atlanta 12-10 straight up, 9-12-1 against the spread. Now, it's important to note that Atlanta is home here. Atlanta, a much better home team this season here. They're 7-4 when they are at home, 5-1 against the spread. In their last 10 games, they have been starting to slide a little bit at home, 1-3 against the spread. And this Denver team, 4-2 in their last 6 on the road. So I'm actually going to lay the points here, lean Denver. I don't totally love this play. I want Jamal Murray to make sure he's playing. He's questionable as of right now, but Atlanta, a bunch of injuries to note. John Collins out, as we know. Bogdanovich, questionable. Hunter out. Kaminsky, questionable. Capella is questionable. And then Justin Holiday downgraded out. So Atlanta missing a few guys that do get some run there. So I'm going to lean Denver in this one, laying the points on the road. Nets taking on the Raptors. Nets 1.5 point favorites at home. Total 224 here. Nets 12-11 straight up. Toronto 11-10. Very, very similar records here. These two teams played just about a week ago. Brooklyn won 112-98. In terms of injuries, Brooklyn, TJ Warren upgraded to probable. No Ben Simmons though for them. And then Toronto, Otto Porter Jr. is downgraded to out, but he's been in and off that injury report as of late. This Nets team playing really good basketball. They've covered 3 of their last 5. They've won 4 out of their last 5. In their last 10 games here, they're 6-10 straight up. And at home in the last 4 home games, 3-1 against the spread. So I like the Nets in this one, minus the 1.5 point. I know this Toronto team can definitely grind it out with the best of them. And whether they're playing good or bad basketball, they can. Toronto's very, very funny to watch. They almost allow or force the other team to get to their level. If they're playing really good, they'll go out and kind of have a shootout, relatively speaking, with that other team. But if they want to grind it out type of thing, they will bring a team down to that level and grind it out with them. So this is going to be a good game. I do really believe that, but I do think Brooklyn is the better team here. I think that they have the star power and all that. So I'm going to lean Brooklyn here, minus the 1.5. In terms of the total, I think this one also could go under, but it's a little dicey. Like I said, I think Toronto is a really good team at determining the pace of play. And if they want to take it down and start, slowing things down and grind it out, I think that's the way that this happens and it goes under. So I'm going to lean Brooklyn and the under in this game. All right, next up, we're moving on to Orlando. 10.5-point underdogs here on the road, traveling to Cleveland. Total is 217 here. This Cleveland team, we had a couple, what, 2 games ago, we had a unit and a half on the Cleveland Cavs, and who are they taking on, the Raptors or something, and they lost. So they are kind of on my you-know-what list, but I do still think that they are a better team here than the Magic, obviously. But 10.5 points seems like it's a little bit too much to lay for this Cleveland team. Now, you're probably thinking, why is it too much to lay? This team blew out the Sixers, and the Sixers are definitely better than the Magic, right? So you are right there, but I just think that double digits here, coming off of a break, I don't know if I really love the Cavs in this spot. What I could see myself doing is pulling the trigger on some sort of a teaser where we tease Orlando up to like 15.5, or tease the Cavs down to like 5.5, right? Like a 5-point teaser, and throw something else in there. And then we see what we get. Like, if we were to look at Brooklyn, you know, we do a 5-point teaser there, just like the last game, using that as an example. I really like being able to do that and then throw Cleveland and Orlando in a teaser, because I just don't love this double-digit spread. Not in, like, again, like, if I'm saying that, I would be like, oh, I'll just take the Magic plus 10.5. No, even that's like not big enough to roll with the underdog. I could totally see Cleveland winning this. I think they won by 11 actually last time these two teams played too, so it's like right on that line. So if you're gonna see anything Cleveland or Orlando related, I guarantee you guys it's in somewhat of a teaser on either side. So keep an eye on the pinned comment to see what we roll with there. All right, Memphis taking on the 76ers. Memphis 5.5-point favorites at home. Total is 218 here. Memphis 12-9 straight up, but 8-12-1 against the spread. Whereas the Sixers, I talked about in the last video, this team started so poorly, right? They're quietly 13-9 against the spread here this season. In their last 10 games, they're 8-2 against the spread, and that's including the game I just talked about where Cleveland blew them out. So keep an eye on the injury report. Tobias Harris is questionable. Tyrese Maxey is a no-go, which is a bummer there. And Memphis, Danny Green downgraded to out here. So a couple things to note on the injury report. Really, that Tobias Harris, I think that he would be a crucial piece here, but you're going to give me 6 points pretty much as the Philly side of things. So you know, we talked about a teaser. That might be the go-to. We might pair these last 2 games together in somewhat of a teaser, but I'm gonna lean Philly on the road in this one. Again, they're playing really good basketball in their last 10 here. They're 7-3 straight up, but 8-2 against the spread. Memphis 4-6 in the last 10 against the spread. They are playing decent at home here, but I do think that it's just a lot of points to lay. This Memphis team can certainly get it done, but I think this Philly team can also, much like I talked about Toronto, if Philly starts playing Philly basketball, that's the pace of the game. So I'm gonna lean Philly in this one, plus the 5.5 points. In terms of a total, I also like this one going over. I think this one could get in the 220s, and you have a 218 total right now, so might be something to jump on right there. All right, a couple games left on the slate, guys. We have New Orleans traveling to San Antonio here. San Antonio 7-point dogs at home. 232.5 is the total in this one. These two teams played a couple weeks ago. New Orleans took it to them 129-110, and just a 5.5-point spread here. New Orleans 6-3 against the spread in their last 9. San Antonio in their last 7, 0-7 against the spread here. CJ McCollum is upgraded to probable. That's good, but Brandon Ingram downgraded to out, and the San Antonio injury report is a mess as well. Doug McDermott, Josh Richardson, Jakob Poeltl, Romeo Langford, all these guys looks like they're not going to get the run here. I'm going to lean New Orleans minus the 7 points on the road here. I think that this is a decent spot for them, and also that total, I think it's a little bit high. I'm not touching it, but I think this game's probably a 229 to 230 type game, so I'm going to lean under, but it's a very slight lean. All right, Houston taking on the Suns here. I almost just said a battle of Texas, and that would, I'm just a dummy. But the Suns, who are in Phoenix, are 11.5-point favorites in this one. Total's 230 here. The Suns team 15-6 straight up, 13-8 against the spread. Now the funny thing is that, you know, I'm thinking here, I'm sitting here being like, I just feel like the Suns team hasn't played that well as of late. And then I look and I'm like, they've won 6 straight games, covered 4 of those. So I'm missing something here. I'm going to lean the Suns minus the 11.5 points. I don't totally love it, but they did play earlier this season on the October 30th here, and this game did go in the Suns' favor, 124-109. I think this Houston team just isn't really playing that great of basketball. They don't totally love it here in this world, in this NBA, against the spread in their last 10 games. Not looking great. Total, or straight up, sorry, 3-7, whereas Phoenix is turning the corner a little bit. So I'm going to lean the Suns. Don't totally love it. Again, I hate that double digit, even with the discrepancy and I guess the margin of skill with these two teams, I still don't like that big of a spread. So pretty low chance that I actually end up making that a final play, but I do lean Suns here in this one. All right, Utah hosting the Pacers. Utah I almost said 14. I'm losing it at the end of the video. Running out of steam. Utah 4-point favorites at home, taking on the Pacers here. Utah, they've been sliding just a little bit. They started this season so well, and they've been sliding 3-7 in the last 10 games. 4-6 against the spread, and Indiana kind of doing the opposite. Now they've started to cool down a little bit. They were 9-1 against the spread at one point in a 10-game snapshot. They're 6-4 against the spread as of right now. On the road though, 3-2 against the spread, 2-3 at home. I do think that I'm going to lean Indiana here. This could be a one that just gets absolutely wiped off the radar. Tyrese Halliburton, who obviously is the main piece in that Indiana team, he is questionable here. So if he's a no-go, it's a groin injury, which can be tough. If he's a no-go, I'm off this game absolutely, completely. So, yeah, let's keep an eye on that injury report. In terms of the Utah injury report, Rudy Gay still out with the hand. Mike Conley still out as well here. But I lean Indiana plus the points in this one, but it's a really slight lean just due to what we got going on there. Right now, this is the highest totaled game on the slate here, and I'm almost challenging that. I do like the under in this game. I think that this one could have a high scoring outcome at like 235 and still catch us under. So I don't think that any stats would tell you that this is going to be an under game, but I'm almost trying to be the contrarian in the room here, saying, you know what? That's a pretty damn high number. Why don't we challenge that? But moving on to the last game of the day, guys. If you haven't hit that like button, you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do so now. If you're still sticking with me here, if you're still sticking with me, drop the word Friday in the comments. Let me know who's watching at the 15 or so minute mark. Friday, Friday. We are killing spelling lately, ladies and gentlemen. So use that word in the comments, or type that word in the comments, Friday. Let me know who is watching at this time as we move in to Golden State hosting the Bulls here. Golden State 7-point favorites at home, total 237 here. These two teams yet to play this season. Chicago 3-6 against the spread in their last 9 games. Chicago, they're 4-8 in their last 12 straight up, not playing all that well. Golden State turning the corner here, 5-2 straight up in their last 7. They're 5-0 in their last 5 games at home as well. So I'm going to lean Golden State in this one. No injury reports to note. Chicago hasn't been playing that great of basketball, and Golden State, again, at home has been red hot in their last 5 at home. So I'm going to lean Golden State here, -7. And that is all I have for you guys today. Hope you guys do enjoy the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.